Hello and welcome to It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and joining us this week to kick things off will be Tony Ferrante, and he's the Associate Athletic Director for Operations and Facilities. So quite a title there, but you have a lot of things that you do as part of your job. Well, first off, can you just kind of tell us what you do as your job?
Well, I do a lot of behind-the-scenes type work, making sure the facilities are clean, ready to go for all of our events. Work a lot with event management when we have a ball game or some type of event going on, whether it's athletic or non-athletic. It's usually myself, Mike Frigge, and a bunch of our assistants who help get everything ready to go for that, manage what's going on, try to troubleshoot. Basically, it's the behind the scenes. If you don't see us, we're doing our job type deal.
And you've really kind of had a lot going on recently with a lot of facilities, having renovations, having things change with them, even game day changes. Let's just kind of go over some of those. Softball, they got their field changed, and they've had a lot of tournaments recently. Correct.
Softball in the past year, past 2 years, completely redid the facility. New press box, hitting facility, locker rooms. Of course, we added the turf.
Right.
Which has gone a long way in helping us maintain the facility, get all the games in. And we had some weather issues this past weekend with one of our tournaments, and if it wasn't for the turf, we probably wouldn't have been able to get the games completed. We've had 2 tournaments there this past year throughout the first 3 weeks of the season. Troy did very well in all those in both those tournaments, and weather again. It was a little chilly. We got a little bit of everything this past weekend. It was cold, it was warm, it was humid, it was rainy, and went through the whole cycle.
It was
with
South
that.
Alabama.
Yep, and so we had that facility. It was great. Of course, baseball with the turf there. Just had new turf installed this past off season. We got a weekend series coming up tonight this weekend with Southern Miss.
Right.
Supposed to be cold again, but the weather's supposed to hold for that.
Well, you talked about baseball, and one of the things that we saw an advantage of was there was a lot of rain this past weekend. The game was supposed to be played at Sanford on Tuesday night. That game got moved to Troy because of our facility and because of the field we have. And that's got to be a big advantage.
It is. It is for our coaches and our players. It's great for Troy University. I know our coaches have received a lot of calls here in the last few days about facility usage. We did the swap with Sanford. We'll play them in Birmingham in April.
Right.
But I know there has been interest from other schools in the area to possibly play their weekend series at our facility as well. So it's a great facility. It's a beautiful place, and the turf. The only thing on the field that's not turfed is the pitcher's mound. So that goes a long way with maintenance and getting the games in.
Well, I know with Coach Pierce, there was kind of a flip-flop in between whether they should have dirt at home plate last year. They had it last year. They went back to turf this year. What was the reason behind that? Well,
they really didn't want to go back to the dirt batter's box, but the turf wasn't holding up quite the way the vendor thought it would. So they went with that for a year, and the vendor came back at their expense and said, let's give this a try again. They changed the material up, the product a little bit, and they're all for giving another go-around. Progress has been very good to work with situations like that, and Coach Pierce has gone a long way over the years in developing a very good relationship with that company, and we've been able to try a few things out here in Troy.
And I mentioned the game moving. When something happens like that where it's just a quick turnaround that you're not expecting, is that difficult for y'all? What all y'all have to do?
It's not as difficult as you would think. It's good that when you have the physical plant that we do and they're able to maintain the facility the way that they have, they were scheduled to come in and clean the facility anyways and have it ready. So that was basically was sending out a text to about 6 people saying, hey, we're playing tonight. We got to be ready to go. And we're good to go.
All right. And I know golf, they're undergoing a construction of a facility right now after having their whole practice facility renovated. Talk about their new their locker room area.
Well, the new clubhouse, we broke ground about a month ago, poured the foundation this past weekend. We hope to be in the building sometime around the 1st of September, give or take a week or two, so long as the weather improves a little bit. But the building itself will include locker rooms for both the men's and women's teams, offices for both head coaches, a team area. There will be a nice patio off the back of the facility, and there will be 2 hitting bays to where they can actually either hit from the hitting bay area onto the course, or there's one of the hitting bays will have the software in there that can film and analyze the player's swings.
Okay.
There'll be parking area down there, but you know, our golf program's kind of been here and there over the last few years with the golf course renovation and the old pro shop being removed.
Right.
So they've been doing their best, and they've done pretty good through the process. So I know they're excited about this.
Now, is maintaining the actual course something that you're involved with?
Well, not so much. That would really go back to Mark Salmon and Josh Flavin with the physical plant. They do a fantastic job with that, and so most of the focus with the course itself goes to them. Matt Terry and Bart Barnes, our head golf coaches, do a great job with it. It's not uncommon to see Matt Terry out there in his sweats, you know, cutting and trimming and getting everything the way that they need it. So, you know, that's what you want from your coaches and your athletes. You want them to take pride in their facility, and Coach Terry and Coach Barnes have definitely done that.
Yeah, you drive by there and you can see the hard work that's been put into it. A very nice looking facility. Yeah. One of the things we've been hearing with the football team is rebuild the wall, and along with that came some videos of some tearing down of some walls, which you have to rebuild, and they've been doing that in the Tyne Davis Fieldhouse. Talk about what's going on in there right now.
Well, basically, you know, the original Fieldhouse was constructed in 1971. There was an addition in 1998, which is now the administrative side of the building. The football side, or the original part of the building, nothing really has been done to that since the original construction. So what they're doing is they came in and, for the most part, gutted that whole side of the building, knocked some walls down. So basically they're reconfiguring some office space, meeting space, just trying to bring the building up into the current century and, you know, make it appealing for the coaches and for recruiting, and you know, a good, hopefully somewhat temporary home for the football program over the next few years.
You say temporary, and that's obviously meaning the north end zone expansion that has been talked about for so long, and I know that's a big plan on the horizon, but what all kind of input do you have when it comes to a building like that? Well,
you know, for the most part, you let the experts have their say, and the experts being the architects and the coaches. Basically, I'll work with the coaches and the athletic department, gathering their wants and needs, and you know, help get that translated into the finished product. You know, I'm the one who sits there and takes notes and let all the big decisions are made by the higher ups. But I'm basically a go-between. If there's a problem, I'll be the first person they come to, and then we just take it from there.
All right, Tony. Well, thank you for joining us and giving like a little look about what goes behind the scenes, and especially with the facilities. So thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to talk some men's basketball with the video coordinator of the men's basketball team, and that's Chase Stegall. And Chase, it's been kind of a whirlwind past couple of weeks. Been coming off a big victory last Thursday night against Georgia Southern, come back home, and then a loss to Little Rock. But right now it's kind of crunch time and it's go time. So that victory against Georgia Southern was huge against the #1 team in the conference. What was the team's mindset in that game?
You know, coming off a win like that, it gives the team great confidence. And going into that atmosphere that we were at Georgia Southern also gave us confidence. You know, huge crowd, loud crowd, everybody's against you.
Right.
Kind of, you know, we know that we're the only ones that really care and really matter in the gym is, you know, each other. So it was nice to see the team rally around each other and, you know, come out with a victory.
Do you think maybe there was a little overconfidence coming into that Little Rock game? Was it a letdown?
I don't think so. I don't think it was overconfidence. I think that you got to give credit where credit's due.
Right.
And Little Rock did a great job in the triangle and two and kind of caught us off guard. And, you know, we weren't able to function properly in the first half and finally got it moving, finally got it going later in the second half. And, you know, we tried to put some pressure on them and turn them over. And, you know, it just happened that we ran out of time and, you know, wasn't able to get it done.
And as I said, it's coming down to crunch time. There's 3 games left in the season. And right now, 6 through 11, it's jam-packed. Right. I mean, there's just a game or two separating those spots, and top 8 make it to the Sun Belt Conference tournament. Excuse me. So you face Texas State at Texas State on Thursday. It's a big matchup. What do you know about that team?
Well, I know that Texas State's going to guard you really hard, and they're a tough physical team, you know, and they're going to make it a grinded out game, and it's going to be a low possession game to where they're going to, you know, they're not going to give you anything easy.
Right.
And you know, the first time we played them, it was the same way. It was just a grinded out game. It was kind of an ugly game. You know, they make you play different than what you're used to. The first time we didn't have Kevin Thomas. He was out with an illness, and so this time he'll be ready to go. And you know, we're excited because, you know, we're up for the challenge, and like you said, it's crunch time. And you know, without winning the Texas State game, which is always, you know, look at just one game at a time, but without winning the Texas State game, you know, we put ourselves in a bad situation. So we need to make sure we get the victory.
Well, is there anything y'all are telling the team differently this week? I mean, with that game kind of making things on the line for the conference tournament, are y'all telling them?
No, not really. I think the team knows, you know, what's at stake, and you know, we always talk about bring your own energy and make your own energy, and that's what we need to do. And you know, I believe the guys will be ready to go on Thursday night.
All right, and then back here on Saturday, it's going to be senior night as you face Georgia State, and Georgia State is always a tough team, one of the top teams in the league. Last year when they came in with an undefeated record in the Sun Belt, but Troy beat them on national TV. Do you think some of that will be kind of flowing in the team's mind from last year, all that adrenaline?
Yeah, I'm sure that the guys will remember that game, but more importantly, Saturday is going to be about the seniors, about Kevin Thomas, about Musa Abdul-Alim. So I think the guys are going to have to be ready just for, you know, to make sure the seniors go out at Trojan Arena with a win.
All right, Chase. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck on these two games, and especially on Thursday night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to talk a little women's basketball with the head coach of that team. That's Coach Shanda Rigby, and that team has been on a roll recently, 5 in a row for the Trojans, and starting things off with a kind of overtime thriller in Georgia against Georgia Southern with Ashley Beverly Kelly scoring 46 points. That was a big victory. Yes,
just like we feel like we're improving a lot as the year goes on, Georgia Southern has improved a lot, and they really couldn't miss. They couldn't miss a shot. They did awesome. We were glad to get out of there with a road win, but Ashley Beverly Kelly really came through, 46 points. At the end of the game, I looked up on the board. It said that when she substituted out at the end of the game, it said that she had 46 points, and I told my assistants, that's wrong. She couldn't, but she did. She had 46 points. We didn't realize it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the most scored by a player in the country this season?
This season.
And that's pretty outstanding. And for this week, and we'll get to the Arkansas Little Rock game in just a second, she has already been named the National Player of the Week as well as the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week.
Right. She's the National Mid-Major Player of the Week and then also the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week. So we're proud of that.
That's big honors, and you've got to be proud of that and very excited to have that recognition for one of your players.
Absolutely, especially Ashley Beverly Kelly, who's our hardest worker.
Now, Arkansas Little Rock, I know it's a game earlier this season that you really wanted. You were riding high. I believe 7 games in a row that you had won. You didn't get them up there. They come down here to Troy, and you come up with a big victory on Saturday.
Yes, they're such a good team. I mean, they've done great things for the Sun Belt Conference, and they beat several BCS programs early in the year. They beat LSU, they beat Oklahoma. And when we played them the first time, I think I even said it on this show after, they were just a much better team than us. They were a better team. They were more poised. They were better at defense. They were better at what they do. But they came to Trojan Arena. We feel like we've been making a little ground ground here, a little ground there, and we were able to put together a win.
Now, I mean, what was the key in that victory? You were down by about 10 at one point, and you were able to battle back. I mean, what did you tell your team?
It was a very patient game, which is not my game at all.
Right.
Coach Jennifer Graff, my associate head coach, had the team all week being more patient on offense, coming off screens, using screens. And I had to step back and let her do that because that's not my kind of game.
Right.
But it is her kind of game, and we were able to win with that. The UALR is number 3 in the nation in defense, so we knew we weren't just going to run our fast break and get quick points and win that way. So we had to play a more patient game.
Well, now you've got 2 big ones this week as you travel to Texas to face Texas State, then come back to face Georgia State on Saturday. Talk about that Texas State game first.
Well, Texas State beat us the first time, actually here, our first conference game of the year, and so we felt like we could have won that game for sure, and we feel like we've improved an awful lot. We've been neck and neck with them for 3rd place for quite some time, and we would like to kind of put it away and have us solidly in 3rd place by beating them.
And do it at their place would kind of put an emphasis on that.
Right.
And then Georgia State at home Saturday, that's senior night, so always a big night and a very important night in the final home game of the year.
It's the final home game of the year. We hope people will come out. The ladies are doing such a good job. We would love to see that reciprocated with a good crowd there, and just show their support, because we'll only have one more game. It'll be on the road at South Alabama, and then we'll go to the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. And we know not everybody can make it to New Orleans, but it would be great to have that final home game, have a lot of people there.
Well, let's get out there. It's a 2 o'clock tip on Saturday, Georgia State senior night, so hopefully we'll have a big crowd out there for the Trojans.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. And stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're here with Matt Terry, the head coach of the men's golf team and the director of the golf program at Troy University. And the men's golf team just began their spring season in pretty good tournament out in Houston, hosted by Houston and Rice. And y'all played on a nice tournament. We were talking about it just off air, and a very well-maintained course, one that will be used by the PGA in just a couple weeks. So just kind of review the tournament for us.
It was really good. It's always nice to carry the guys where the PGA Tour is either playing or have played before. And, we had a great fall schedule where we got to see 3 venues that have done that. And then to lead off the spring going to where they hold the Shell Houston Open in a month. And it's the week before the Masters. So it's wall-to-wall rye overseed, and it's as green as you could ever see anything. No imperfections anywhere.
Right.
So that was really nice. Club was fantastic. The guys always love to, go to a venue like that and get to see a lot of, there was a couple of former tour players there that played at Houston, and got to see Stacey Lewis while she was out there, former #1 in the world. She was there practicing. So you can tell what kind of place that is. And, it was a good tournament. We were a little rusty early. First round, I think we had 4 doubles and a triple we counted for our team score, and that's unlike us. We normally don't make too many big numbers.
Right.
And going into the second round, played okay, not great, but we put ourselves in a position where, solid final round, we could move up, beat a few teams. That helps us with our ranking. Golf's a little different because it's not as much head-to-head. You got 15 teams in an event.
Right.
We finished 7th this week. You go 8-6.
Right.
So your record's 8-6 for that week, and it was our worst finish of the year, which is a good thing to say. And we had a bad start the final round, 3 over par, I think, in the first 3 or 4 holes. Got it to 9 under, playing great, and then finish at 4 under. Had a little hiccup on a par 3 that we finished on, but the guys were all extremely aggressive on that hole. We went at a pin that I didn't see too many teams stand up there and go at, and just had a wrong club selection, flew the green, and had some bad lies back there, made some bogeys, and it cost us a couple of spots in the tournament. But, the guys understand, and they know that when we put ourselves in the situation, either at conference or regionals or hopefully nationals, that they're going to have to hit those shots.
Right.
We're going to have to go at flags. We're going to, just like in baseball, you're going to have to pitch to a batter.
Right.
When you don't want to. It's going to happen. And so to see those guys stand up there and hit those shots, and they made the decision to hit those shots, and that's a great thing. It's got nothing to do with the coach. Those guys are confident in what they're doing, and I'm really proud of where they're at mentally.
Oh, and that was a really competitive tournament against some of the top teams in the country. South Carolina, you went up against them and actually beat them in the final round, right? We
did, and they're a legit top 10 team, extremely strong. Got everybody back from a team that went to NCAA finals, and had a player, finishing in the top 5 last year. And see the guys, we had a bad finish and still nipped them by a shot in the final round. And those are little things you can take away as a golf team that, when we go to Auburn in a couple of weeks, that we can hopefully stick into play mentally and have even more confidence at that event.
Well, let's talk about that event. I know Auburn is a place that you go to pretty frequently, and I'm sure your guys are pretty familiar with that course. Do you think that'll help get them off to a good early start?
It should. I would think that, they've played there and played there the last 2 years. Right. We didn't play so well the first year, and then this past year we had a top 5 finish, which was nice. And, we've had some good rounds there, and the guys know it. We've got a couple of players from Auburn on the team, and a lot of local players that have played there. So, it should be good. And then later on that week we go to Florida State, to Southwood, and another venue that the guys love, and we've been to actually more than Grand National. And so it's a week filled that the guys really like, really enjoy. And, if we're successful that week, that's going to go a long way for our postseason hopes.
All right, Coach. Well, I know y'all got a busy spring ahead, but good luck in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you so much.
All right. And join us again next time for more on It's Tea Time.